Jessica Miller, and today I want to share a deeply personal story about my family, the journey we took with our little girl, Emma, and how she taught us the true meaning of courage and hope. Our journey began in September 2020, when our then 4-month-old baby, Emma, was diagnosed with bilateral retinoblastoma. In simple terms, cancer in both eyes. My husband, Daniel, had read an article months before Emma was born about how a white reflection in a baby's eye in photos, rather than the usual red, could be an early sign of eye cancer. One night, while flipping through photos on his phone, he noticed that same white glow in Emma's left eye. We quickly got a referral to Riverbend Medical Center, where the specialist examined her and quietly told us to prepare ourselves. He believed Emma would lose her left eye. We were advised to travel immediately to St. Starlight Children's Hospital for further testing. Leaving our older daughter Lily, who had just begun to adjust to having a baby sister, was one of the hardest things we'd ever done. The diagnosis came like a punch to the chest. Cancer in both eyes. The tumor in her left eye was massive, so large that the retina was completely detached. Doctors told us she had likely never seen from that eye. Her right eye had several small tumors, which they treated on the spot with a laser. It was decided that Emma's left eye needed to be removed right away. Tests would later determine if she'd need chemotherapy. A few weeks later, her surgery took place. Her tiny eye was replaced with a small plastic implant connected to her muscles and nerves so it could move naturally. The tests confirmed two critical things. The gene mutation wasn't inherited, it was spontaneous, and the cancer had already started to travel down her optic nerve, meaning chemotherapy was unavoidable. A central line was placed, and Emma began chemotherapy right in the middle of a severe flu outbreak, long before COVID. Masks and isolation became our reality before the rest of the world caught up. Emma's life became a calendar of constant medical routines. Monthly chemo sessions, eye exams, antibiotic cycles, weekly blood draws, anti-nausea medication, and regular visits from blind and low vision support and the Childhood Cancer Foundation. We also learned what shared care really meant. We juggled the ophthalmologist at Greenfield, the eye surgeon, the prosthetics team, the oncologist at Starlight, and our local shared care unit at Willowbrook. Each one had good intentions, but sometimes it felt like they were working in different worlds. One major challenge came after Emma's first chemo session. The prosthetic specialist insisted she needed a conformer inserted to help her eye socket grow properly. But the oncologist warned against introducing anything foreign into her body. We were caught in the middle, unsure who to believe. That's when I learned the importance of being Emma's voice. The True Heart support team at Starlight helped us navigate those confusing moments and even advocated for us when we felt unheard. We continued 6 long months of chemotherapy, traveling hundreds of miles for each round. No parent is ever prepared to sign papers that could save their child today, but risk giving them cancer again 20 years later. Watching a nurse in full protective gear hook toxic drugs up to your baby is an image that never leaves you. I've never been good at asking for help, but during that time, I didn't have a choice. Our family and friends surrounded us with love. My mom became our rock. Neighbors dropped off casseroles and groceries. My coworkers at Everest Consulting filled our freezer after each chemo round. Even strangers sent letters, prayers, and handmade gifts for Emma. When I first walked into Cynthia's office at True Hearts, I immediately felt calm. She had a warmth that made me feel seen and safe. Her background in pediatric medicine meant she spoke our language, and she helped me untangle emotions I didn't even know I was holding. We also started therapy sessions for Lily to give her her own safe space. I'll never forget her saying on the way there, "Mom, this time it's my appointment, not Emma's." It reminded me that while our world revolved around medical charts and test results, Lily still needed to feel special too. Chemotherapy ended in April 2021, just before the world shut down for COVID. Emma received her first prosthetic eye the day before lockdown. The specialist and I debated postponing, but we went ahead, unsure how long we'd be isolated. Each eye is hand-painted to match, and Emma, true to form, slept through most of the appointment, making color matching nearly impossible. When I finally saw her with both eyes again, it felt like the end of a chapter. For the first time in months, I didn't see her cancer every time I looked at her. Oddly enough, the lockdown became a blessing for our family. Daniel worked from home, I was still on maternity leave, and we had time. Time to breathe, to laugh, to just be. We even celebrated Emma's first birthday over Zoom. By summer, life began to settle. Emma continued regular eye exams with the occasional new tumor treated with laser. In October 2021, another spot appeared in her right eye, one that was hard to reach. The doctor warned me gently that we might need to restart chemo. My stomach dropped. When the biopsy results came back, the tumor's texture had changed. It was starting to break apart. That meant two things. If the cells spread, she could lose vision in her good eye. And second, we had to begin another round of chemo, fast. This time, doctors discussed the possibility of injecting chemo directly into her eye, something never done on a child in our state. The second round hit harder. I was back at work, Lily was starting school, and Emma was more active, catching every little cold she came her way. Still, she fought through it, and by Christmas 2021, she completed her final chemo treatment. Ironically, right after I texted family that we were done, Emma had an allergic reaction to one of the drugs, and we spent Christmas Eve in tears, but grateful she pulled through. The years 2022 and 2023 were mercifully calmer, though COVID protocols, hospital trips, and constant monitoring became our normal. Emma's right eye remained stable, and in August 2023, we celebrated a full year without new tumors. By now, Emma had undergone over 40 anesthetics, countless MRIs, and earned hundreds of beads of courage for her bravery. Her port stayed in longer than needed due to hospital delays, but it was finally removed this spring. Today, Emma is a spirited, funny, strong-willed 6-year-old who never fails to make people laugh, especially when she pranks her teachers by taking out her prosthetic eye. Her right eye still has perfect vision despite everything. She runs, plays, and paints just like any other kid her age. Looking back, I realized that through all the fear, the waiting rooms, and the sleepless nights, we also learned how much light one little girl could bring into the world, even with just one eye. We will always be grateful for the love, care, and advocacy from True Hearts, and for every person who stood by us through Emma's fight for sight. Thank you to everyone who stood beside us. Your love, prayers, and kindness carried us through the hardest days and reminded us that we were never alone.